everyone who is going to come. A few minutes to pile in here. What is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? Guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Looks like we are good on Twitch. I do not want to hear myself talk. Awesome. Guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. If you are in the chat, say hello, say hello. Let us know you are here. Whether you're on YouTube or you're on Twitch or you're X can't. So if you're on X, you should definitely come to YouTube or Twitch. All right. Boom, 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 boom. And what is up? What is up? Thank you for joining us. We're going to give it just a few minutes for everybody to come and hang out. Then we'll get started. Shoo, what's up? Super excited to have Ryan with me today. We're definitely going to talk about some really cool back-end comfy UI stuff that I am always very excited to learn more about and see what's going on in the capacity that I normally do not touch.
Never?
It's one of those things, man. It's like I gotta pick my battles for my time. And as a quote unquote influencer, I have to go the direction of the most views. All right, guys, welcome. Got a little bit of the chat going on. Let me make sure we are good everywhere else. Bam. And then we will get rolling. Awesome. Well, I think we can get started. Guys, welcome to our DayDream creator session number 2. If you guys were here last week, you know how great of a time we had with Midjourney Man. And this week we are joined by our very own Ryan on the Inside. So Ryan, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell the people who you are and what you do?
Hey, I'm Ryan. Who am I? I'm an avid comfy UI user, enthusiast, contributor to the community. I got into and now I work with LivePeer on Comfy Stream and DayDream. So how did I get into this and why? I dove into this I was a software dev for many years, and then I decided to be a musician for a while instead, and then I decided that money actually was kind of important. So here I am. But I found Comfy UI to be a great intersection of these two facets of my life. Like
real quick, since you are since you live in Comfy UI, for people that might not know or might not be super familiar with it, how would you describe Comfy UI to someone who has no idea and has never heard that name before?
Good point. So Comfy UI is like this. It's this program that lets you, instead of writing a bunch of code, it lets you connect nodes together, and you use these nodes and string them together to generate images with AI, video with AI, audio with AI, or anything at all with AI. It's like Comfy UI is an extremely flexible system that lets you utilize like AI oftentimes in creative ways, or almost always so far in creative ways. So that's what Comfy UI is, and it's now hopefully more relevant to my backstory here, where where I got kind of bored with the software stuff, and then got kind of poor with the music stuff. So I find Comfy UI to be a great middle ground between art and engineering. So
what at what point did you start using Comfy UI? Like what was it that pulled you into it? Because I know my first time touching it was when SDXL first dropped.
When did I start? So it was sometime early, like before SDXL, 2 years ago,
Oh,
maybe.
okay.
And like the initial motivation was like, yo, I'm gonna make a product. Like me and my boy were like, yo, let's get in on this train. And then we both got kind of busy and sidetracked with that. But I like in that process of learning how to do it, how to make something, I kind of fell in love with the stuff. So it was sometime maybe 2 years ago.
Awesome. And then what was the like? At what point do you feel like Comfy UI kind of cracked stuff open for you, and you were like obsessed with it?
I don't know. It's like this cliff that I went over, and it's the same. If anybody in the audience like plays an instrument, it like specifically the drums, any instrument, but like with the drums, it was the same thing for me. There was like this cliff where suddenly I realized like I could play the drums, and then I had the same sort of experience with Comfy UI. Like I was just like noodling around in it. I was like, oh, I'm totally fluent in this now. I'm doing things without thinking about it. And that's also when I realized, and this is funny, I'm an artist, so I was like vehemently against AI for art, like totally against it until
I can't even imagine that.
Yeah. I mean, until I had this experience where, I made this like massive workflow and I did it by way of my intuition. So at the same time, I realized I was fluent in it. I also realized like I was just in a flow state, like just like when I'm improvising on the guitar or whatever. So that's, I don't know when exactly that was, but it was at some point that happened.
Sick. And so because Comfy UI is such like, you can basically build a workflow for whatever your creative use case is. What direction and what kind of like niche and rabbit hole did you end up going down there, and what do you focus the most on?
Well, that's a great question. So considering my background in music and fresh off like touring, I went right for audio reactivity and video. So making video and controlling that video with audio is the niche that I fell into. And then it expanded from there, which I'll talk about at some point.
Sick. Well, on your screen right now, I know you have your Civitai page.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like if we were to like scroll down and look at the things that like you posted on there from like before, you can kind of see the evolution, right, of the things you've been building.
Yeah. Like look how terrible this is, and then it just gets a little bit better and a little bit better. For sure. Still sucks, but hey, we're working on it. So a lot of the stuff that you'll find here is like audio reactive workflows using a custom node suite that I built for Comfy UI. And that up until recently that I was doing that basically full time, working on this node pack. There's like 200 nodes or something. So with it, you can make stuff. I don't know if my desktop audio is going to be piped through. Is it?
No.
Okay, bummer.
No, it's all good. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh, you can hear the audio?
A little bit.
Okay, well, so you can make stuff like this, this is like with an input video. This is with like an input image. And these like vary wildly, what you can build with this stuff. Like here's another one right here. That's like a little chiller.
Sick. It's so crazy, man. It's like the amount of different things that people are doing in Comfy.
Yeah. And it's like, there's so many things that it's this modular system. So you can build anything, including the back end for an application like DayDream, which is crazy.
So is that everything reactive? Is that something that you just recently posted?
This everything reactive?
Yeah.
Well, this is like, I just posted this version of the workflow. So everything reactive was when I introduced version 2 of the nodes. which I can talk about.
Send me the link to that page real quick so I can put it in the chat for everyone.
Oh, for sure. Here we go.
All right.
And yeah, I'll get like GitHub links to at some point. But so yeah, I like made a new workflow. I was like, oh, I should probably like try to keep promoting my stuff. So I just made a new workflow like the other day with this creator named Ral Finger. Here I've met here on Civitai. I use his LoRa's all the time. He made this LoRa for me for SD 1.5 with the blocks. So I was just super stoked to give it a try. He's the man. All of his LoRa's are amazing. A LoRa, for anyone who doesn't know, is like a way you can add apply a style to a model.
So let's talk about your node pack, because that's going to kind of lead us into everything else that we're going to dive into on the DayDream side of things. So you had a background in software engineering, which obviously helps if you're trying to write your own nodes, right? Even with being able to implement like AI and use like ChatGPT and Claude to help on the coding side of things if you want to do that without any previous experience. But what does your node pack do? How long were you working on it? And kind of like what was the vision there?
So this one, I was working on it for months, and it was a process of me like learning. There's a lot of head slamming, learning about Comfy UI and getting back into the swing of stuff. There's like 200 nodes or somewhere around there, like 150 to 200 nodes. And the purpose of these, I know that there's a lot of audio examples there where we use audio to control the generation. But the purpose of this truly is everything reactivity. So it's not just audio, but any data source at all. So audio, motion, time, depth, MIDI, all this stuff, all interchangeable. So I don't know if we've got here, we can take a look at Comfy UI here. This is what Comfy UI looks like. Each of these little nodes here is like Python code. There's Python programming that goes behind each of these little nodes. And
hey, we got a question for you real quick.
Yeah, what's up?
Boom. What kind of engineering did you do previously?
Oh, I was a .NET developer, and I worked for like some life insurance companies and like a couple of other big brands. You know, it was really great. I loved the people that I worked with, and it was a really cool jobs, but not super creative, you know. It's like straight corporate software. It's like,
I could see exactly how that overlaps into this.
yeah. So this is so far from that. But if you think about the touring, the years of touring in between that and this, it makes more sense, I guess.
So this is your entire node pack right here, or are there
some of it? Some of it. Yeah. It's like a tutorial workflow that I made to set up. So I'm hoping that there's at least a few people in the audience who are familiar with Comfy UI, but I'll keep this brief. So like I said, there's audio is one, but there are many data sources, and these are called features. So, you know, we can extract a feature from audio, like the amplitude envelope of some audio, and the node has this feature output. And you'll notice that all of these data sources have the same feature output here. And that feature output, we can like modulate it, like mix it, like as if it were music, or change it, right? So we've got the feature source. We can modify the feature after we grab it from the source, and then we use it to control a target on UI. And there's a lot of targets like masks, images, IP adapters, animate diff, Video. Oh yeah, I forgot. Since I made this tutorial, I added a ton of stuff. So flex video. Yeah, this is like this tutorial is so old. I gotta update this. There's like video as a target, flex latent. Yeah, flex latent.
I'm pretty sure most of the people in the audience right now are probably familiar with Comfy, so I think you're speaking an understood language to the majority of them.
All right, sweet. So, and then you could even use audio as a target. So you could use audio to manipulate audio. Like we could use the drum beat from a song to manipulate the pitch shift in the. So the important thing is that all of this stuff over here, all of these sources behave the same when you use them to control things later in the pipeline. So it's audio reactivity is popular and it's really fun, and I do it all the time myself. But this is not just audio; it's anything. Yeah, there's even more here. There's like that I added since then. Pitch feature, I think, is one. Yeah, pitch feature is new. There's a ton. So you could take like the pitch, the frequency of something, of audio, and use that to control something down the line.
Are you able to see or get any type of metrics from like GitHub or wherever your node pack is hosted? How many people have actually downloaded and have used your node pack?
On GitHub, I've got like approaching 500 stars, which is more than I've ever had on it on anything. It's not a ton, but and then I think there's like 5,000 users.
Sick, because there's a lot in here that you just talked about in the past like 5 minutes that I rarely see anyone talk about in any workflows or anything. Like I've never seen that node before that has the piano keys in it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been doing my best to raise awareness about it, but it is, there are differing philosophies with this stuff in Comfy UI, like with audio reactivity specifically. Like there are some philosophies where developers want to make it really easy for people to make audio reactive stuff. And those node packs are really great. They're awesome. In fact, I use them myself sometimes, but that's different from my philosophy, which is like to grant maximum control, like granular control, because I feel that this is the best way for me personally to let actual craftsmanship show up in the end product, because I can control everything to such a detail that it's my craftsmanship as opposed to the AI that is doing this. So this speaks to what I was saying before when I had this realization. It's like the more control that I have over it, the more it feels like something that I am making. So that's my philosophy with these nodes. But the downside of that is that they're difficult. There's a learning curve. So you can't just like plug it in and have it work. There is a learning curve. But I've met some like big creators, some people who have done some big projects, like public art projects, like that have used these. So that's fulfilling, just to hear even that one person managed to use this to make something is so
and in a capacity that they like displayed it to other people. That's super
cool. Like one person, they showed me a video, it was like a projector display on the side of a skyscraper. And they were like, hey, I used your shit to make this. I was like, whoa, dude, awesome. Yeah. So, but largely I made these for myself. So
do you feel like with the stuff that you do, because you mentioned that like your main thing is being able to have as much absolute granular control over your output as possible through all these different methods. Your chosen method is through reactivity and stuff like that. Do you ever feel like when you're trying to make stuff and when you're doing stuff like this, that everything you're doing is actually like you fighting against what the AI intuitively wants to do, because the AI like wants to do one thing and you're like, no,
yeah,
I'm controlling you to do this down to like the finest detail.
For sure. But like with other creative endeavors, like I've learned writing music in like a collaborative setting and stuff, you sometimes have to just take it as it comes. in order to, and that's when I personally make the best stuff, is when I'm like a little bit open-minded about what I'm going to get. But yes, like the name of the game is like trying to control, like get what you want out of it. And, when I do manage to do that, I'm like, fuck, yes, dude, it's awesome, but it doesn't always happen for sure.
I always tell everyone that the way that I personally like to think about using AI is that I'm going to come to it with my idea, and then it is going to give me its version of that idea, and then it's a back and forth to find the meeting place in the middle.
Yeah.
But that, like, you can't, when you're using this stuff, you can't go into it being so tied to whatever your original idea is, because then you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, I agree. So I talked about, like, at a high level how this works. It's like the feature source, you get the data from something like audio, you can manipulate it at will, and then you control something with it. So this is, I know I made it sound like it's impossible to do, but it's actually really, really simple. So here we've got a data source. Which
Right, zoom in a little bit more on those, so that, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yep.
So here we've got a data source. I've just got this song here, Vesuvius, from my boy A-Cats generated this. So thanks, A-Cats. That's what it sounds like. And we're grabbing the drums, filtering the drums, and then just because we can, we're going to isolate the kick drum out of the drums. So, we separate the audio into its component parts and then filter it further, just because we can. So this is our data source, this audio right here. And then, like I talked about, we extract the feature from the data source. We manipulate the feature if we want. You don't have to. We could just go like that. And then we morph, and we manipulate a target. In this case, we're going to morph a mask. And each of these nodes, and there's a ton of different mask targets. It goes really, really deep, like super granular control. And then in each of the nodes, there's all of these settings. You can dilate, erode, open, close, etc. And this is ultimately what that looks like here. It's just dilating with the kick drum. So, you can, like, and then with the manipulation here, we can pull up something like a feature oscillator. So here, let's preview this so we can get a visual of it. And then preview this. So now I'm not using this anymore. I'm going to use this to control the mask, but here you can see what it looks like. So here's what we had before that looks obviously like a kick drum. Do, 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 do,
Yep.
do. And then here is the kick drum feature, but run through this feature oscillator. So you can see, so we get a distinct effect. You see, so it still pulses with the drum, but like pulses more according to the oscillation of this thing here. So, and then there's a ton of these nodes, and all of those have, their own particular settings that you can fiddle with. So literally anything that you could imagine, I hope you could attempt to achieve with these nodes. And then, there's a ton of other stuff in the node pack too, just straight audio related stuff. Let me, this is not. Yeah. Any questions so far on?
It looks like, the one thing about Comfy, and I think this is true for any node based software, right? Like, it looks very intimidating.
Yeah.
At first glance.
It does. So the way that I'd recommend I really want to encourage people to build stuff, not just with my nodes, but in general. And I think that the best way to get started with this stuff is to just get someone else's workflow running. And do that a couple times, like download workflows off that interest you and get them working, and then tweak some settings in them. And then I think the next step after that is to take two workflows that you like and combine pieces of them. then, if you like one thing from this workflow and one thing from this workflow, try to slam those together, and then bang, you've made your own workflow. And then do that a bunch. Maybe like pick a specific goal and try to achieve it. And then before you know it, you'll be making workflows like totally from scratch.
Which is basically what my journey in Comfy looked like too, was taking other people's workflows, looking at it and trying to understand how things were hooked up and what everything was doing, and then thinking about, okay, what do I want from this, and then going down the rabbit hole to figure out how to get that from that starting point.
True.
Which, shout out to Inner Reflections AI, because Inner Reflections was the guide he wrote about like his base like video to video
style transfer one, dude.
That set off the next 2 years of my life.
Yeah, dude, the style transfer workflow with the IP adapter, I was like, oh my god. So yeah, shout out from me also.
So there's a question. What's your favorite intro to audio reactivity project?
Intro to audio reactivity project? Like my favorite project?
Probably like if you were just getting into audio reactivity and Comfy, like where would you recommend to start?
Any of my any of my stuff. Another really great creator is his name's Yvonne, and he's got awesome IP adapter related transition nodes, and he's posted some workflows that are like easier. They're really, really clever, like very, very clever, but he set them up so that people can just like put images in it and change like a few things, and you get great results every single time. So he's a great one. I have some simpler workflows that are good too. But yeah.
So I want to tie this into what we are doing with DayDream and where DayDream is now versus where it could possibly go in the relatively near future. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to just share my screen real quick, and then we'll come back to yours. Cool. So if you guys go to the DayDream website, we actually just launched our brand new landing page that allows people to get right into trying DayDream prior to sign up. So on our new landing page, we actually have this 24/7 stream running from the lot, which is just like a 24/7 DJ stream where literally anyone who's on that page can live prompt this video, and the prompt will change and update. So I'm going to put the link to the DayDream thing. So think of this as like multiplayer prompting, if you will. So right now it's the Stormtroopers, and I'm just going to, just so we can change this up, I'm just going to type in Daft Punk robots, and I'm going to do -- quality. Oh, spell check. Quality 3. And my prompt is going to queue up, and then that should change what's going on in this live video, and it's going to show us when it changes. So Daft Punk boom, there we go. There we go. And then anyone else who's in the chat right now, if you guys are on that homepage, if you guys type in a prompt, it should be updating live for all of us. So it like really is like, there's no other place I've ever seen a multiplayer style prompting experience, but this should give people a really good intro to just like dive in and have fun with this. Cause most of what DayDream is about the experience of being able to control the AI live with close to immediate feedback. And then from here, you guys can jump into your own camera and start prompting yourself. But seeing that this is where DayDream is now, let's hop back to your screen. What are possible things that we are going to be experimenting with?
Dude, anything. That's because it's Comfy UI is powering it, so we can like the sky is literally the limit. Do you want to see a cool demo of
Yes.
something
Yes,
cool?
please.
So here, we've got, so we just talked about my other stuff where it's like reactivity and control. So when I was introduced to this real-time stuff, it's like, all right, interactivity and control. So this is an example of how we can do that. You can see that the distance between my fingers is controlling parameters in the workflow. So this is with using Comfy Stream, which is the open source project that's more or less behind DayDream. So this is like one example of some cool stuff that we can do. Anyone have any ideas for prompts here that we could try? Cool dichotomy or something?
So let's try. I did really like the thing that Eric did earlier where it's like the frog and the prince. So let's try that.
Oh, Eric, CTO of Live here. I don't think
Yes.
that would work. Okay. Do you remember what the prompt was?
I think one of them was probably just like a prince in a like tuxedo or whatever, and then the other one could probably just simply be a frog, and we could see if we could get those two things to oscillate.
Sick. Yeah. So. Oh, nice. And then, yeah. So one of these, for any comfy people out there, one of these is controlling the strength of the depth map, and then the other one is interpolating between two prompts.
Oh, there's our frog. Okay.
Oh, yeah. You couldn't see it before?
There we go.
Oh, God. Yeah. So here, let's just do the prompt. And then like we can also like do it with the distance of my hand from the camera. So this is an example of something that we can we could do in DayDream. But it doesn't have to be like my fingertips. It could be anything. It could be like it could be the content of the video. It could be the accelerometer from a phone. It could be whatever is compelling. But I find that being able to control it in some way is really compelling for me personally. I enjoy being able to like manipulate stuff. So
that's super sick. Let's try doing something like what would the opposite of like a skeleton be?
A fat guy.
Because for this right now, there's a control net in this, right?
Yeah.
How tight is that? Whoa, bro. Whoa.
Nice. Oh, got an FPS drop here. Did it die? Okay. This is an early demo, everybody, just so you know. We're working on making it a little bit more fast. Oh, I've got some latency here. I've never seen that before. Interesting.
Oh, dude, that's sick.
Yeah. But dude, the latency is kind of a bummer. I feel like I want to try to refresh the page real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
If you drop out, you can always just come right back in.
No, I just want to pull it up here. Yeah, so this is a really early demo. I might have mentioned already, but
so okay, just to give some context, I don't know if you guys if the people watching, whoever is in here, is familiar with Touch Designer, but there are a bunch of videos that every now and then you'll come across on social media where people are doing these really cool kind of like glitchy effects where they're controlling what's the effects that are happening on them with their fingers and with their body. And so as stuff is being tracked, it's like a cause and effect type thing. But the software that people use to do that in is not easy to learn, by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
Like to get to the point of doing something like that in this program, Touch Designer, is a massive, massive lift. And we are trying to figure out ways to emulate that and put it into the DayDream experience in a way that is super easy and highly reactive for people to use. And that's kind of the thought behind all this. And like Ryan said, we're still like, this is all still like in experimental phase, but that looks
What?
crazy. So yeah,
So
that
this is a cool one. Look, it's like a fat skeleton. It's like halfway in between an obese man and a skeleton is this actually muscular skeleton.
and then it shrinks down. That's so, dude. I love how it goes from like fat guy to fat skeleton, and then like the skeleton actually shrinks.
Yeah. So the challenge here, it's like this is one thing, and the challenge being that Comfy UI is so modular. Like the possibilities are actually endless. So it's like, what do we put into DayDream? Which I think will be an interesting discovery process for us on the team here.
Yeah, because the entire goal here is to make immediate feedback with reactivity and interactivity fun and as like easy and frictionless for people as possible.
Yeah. And there's a lot of stuff in ComfyStream, which is, I mentioned this before, I'll reiterate. ComfyStream is the open source project extension for Comfy UI, developed by the team at LivePeer that actually powers DayDream. So you can go and make your own workflow, like just like in DayDream. Maybe you can make your own stuff. We've got example workflows out there and tutorials on how to set this up. So I really, any workflow people in the audience, check it out. This stuff's really fun. Yeah,
Dude, doing stuff like that where it's like not going from like one style to another, but where it's like really like taking one extreme to the other, I think has a lot of opens up a lot of interesting possibilities.
Yeah, like, and it's always fun to do the dichotomy here, but there could be anything else. What really makes it fun is being able to do it. Like seeing it's pretty cool, but actually doing it is cooler.
Damn. So what are the biggest challenges to getting something like this accessible to people in a way where they could just like, boom, they're in it and they're using it? Like what's the hurdles to overcome there?
Well, it's like scope creep. So it's the biggest thing, in my opinion, is identifying what it is that we choose to put in there, and then that list of things will be further filtered by the ways that you can interact with it. Like how would this hand idea here? How could we implement this for people on a phone? It might be kind of tough, So
yeah.
we could. Like instead of the distance between fingers, we could do how far my jaw is open, for instance, like control it with my mouth being open. So maybe we could do that. Or maybe, we do audio.
Rip people with small mouths.
Yeah, sorry. No interactivity for you. So yeah, those are the challenges are like identifying which thing to do, because there are so many, and then it's constrained by the interface. So we'd want to put something in that like the most people could have the most fun with in the most scenarios. This is how I'm thinking of it. I don't mean to be speaking for the whole this is how I'm thinking of it. Yeah, so there's that, and then there's the technical challenges of course, like the quality of the model and FPS. So just like with everything with Gen AI, it's often a balancing act between various things, and often one of those balancing acts is between speed and quality. So
Mm-hmm.
you'll see really, really high quality video generated by AI, but it takes 45 minutes to generate a minute clip. Here we're doing it in real time, and you can see the stark difference in quality. That's because we're doing it so fast. So that's the other challenge, is like trying to get enough FPS that it feels like a video, while still having like decent quality. Um,
So I actually had asked Mid Man this last weekend, but I want to ask you too, since you're a little bit closer to this stuff. Why do you think, with kind of like the rise of all the video models with like Kling and Runway and Sora and just all these things, right? Why do you think no no big conglomerate that has the obvious compute power and stuff has tried to tackle real time yet?
could be next. I mean, you see Live Peer throwing some stuff behind it. I personally see it as a new frontier, which is why I'm so excited to be working on this stuff. Um, I think it's only a matter of time, because these video models, they're getting really, really good, but man, they are expensive. And they're expensive to run for anybody, even open source people. Like, you either need to buy a 5090 or a 4090 and then, spend the electricity to generate it, or you need to rent a GPU from like RunPod. And man, I just got a GPU myself. The amount of money I've spent on RunPod is insane. So so it's ridiculous. So these models, they're getting better and better and better. And then the next frontier for all of these model architects, these companies, is to actually try to make it cheaper to use them. So then more people can use them for more reasons. It's like something like the Jensen effect, I want to say, something with a J, where like the cheaper you make oil, the more oil people use. It's the same thing with compute and with using these models. So why hasn't it happened yet? I think it's just a matter of time. But why it hasn't happened yet is probably because it hasn't needed to.
I feel that. I feel that. Well, always exciting to be first.
Yeah, let's go.
So aside from this and the point tracking, are there any other current things that you are hoping can be applied using with like kind of the real-time interactivity effect?
Um,
Like where else do you see this going right now that is within the realm of maybe that's possible?
oh, anything's possible, brother. Uh, so like, even just like, this is just one idea, with this. So this is using another node pack that have been working on specifically for real-time stuff, and it's called real-time nodes. And one of the things that I did was I wrapped the whole media pipe vision tasks API. So we're using hand landmarking here in real time, but it's also got pose, face, holistic landmarking. It's got gesture recognition. It's got image segmentation, like by class, interactive segmentation, image embeddings, like all of this stuff that we can just like swap out in distinct places in this workflow. So I'd like to see a lot more of this type of thing, using MediaPipe, and all these various tools. I'd also like to see some stuff with um, with like a leap motion, or like more data coming in from the camera. So like iPhones, I think, have like a depth map paired with the image. If we could just pipe that in, we could then maybe do some, like, with the saved FPS, we could do like some 3D manipulation, like point cloud or something. That would be really cool.
Ooh, that would be super cool.
Yeah, that's like basically next on my list if I get the time to experiment. I think would be really, really sick. Actually, the original author of Comfy Stream, his name's Yondon, the powerful Yondon Fu. He's he showed me a cool demo with a Gaussian splat, which would be sweet. But mainly the big thing that I want to see is generative video games. That's what I want to see.
So like as the camera's turning, everything is being generated following the lens, or
no, like generating a video game in real time. Yeah. Let me find it for you. So they already did this with Minecraft, and I did wrap it for Comfy UI. But you can think of it like there is no software, like there's no game installed anywhere, and yet you're playing Minecraft. It's crazy because it just generates the world frame by frame. It's crazy. So like when the models get better and faster and cheaper and all this, we could theoretically be playing unique video games like generated based on my algorithm or whatever.
That I can't even imagine what something like that would look like, because of what all of our algorithms look like when we're doom scrolling Instagram and TikTok.
Oh, it'd be so bad. Actually, good point. It'd be terrible. It'd be terrible. Like it would be like World of Warcraft. All the kids got addicted to World of Warcraft. Imagine if World of Warcraft was tailored specifically to their dopamine schedule or whatever. So
my God.
So that's a big thing that I'd like to see. But more immediate would be real time audio. Actually, there's this ACE step model is now natively supported in Comfy UI. It just got me thinking about audio again, and it'd be really cool to get real time interactive audio generation in Comfy Stream. So that, I guess those are like that's like an actual like near term, medium term goal would be generative audio.
Sick. I know something on the list is having the ability for us to actually record audio through our microphone or through our webcam as we're recording ourselves with DayDream. So that's like, I know that's somewhere on the list of things relatively soon, which I'm very excited about as like the content creator.
Yeah. It'll make things a lot easier. And of course, I was talking about making things react to your voice. We could do that too. So not only like record your voice, but use it to manipulate the output.
Oh, like it would respond to your pitch.
Yeah. And so I already did this for Comfy Stream. There's a branch of Comfy Stream out there where you can use a microphone to control the workflow. So it's possible. We just need to like make it more robust, and we could theoretically put it in there. But then again, we're looking at the how do we choose which features?
That I think that's going to be up to you and I to see what features people respond to.
Whatever you say, man. Whatever you say. I'll get lost. I'll have too many things that I want to do. So you just tell me what to do.
It's funny, as we've been talking, this thing's just been constantly changing on my screen the entire time, which is super cool to see.
This is wild.
Yeah, the fact that they did this was super cool. How is like there's just like this live stream that's actually happening, and
this is a person.
Yeah. This person right here is DJing live on this thing called the Lot Radio, which is like a 24-hour DJ set.
Yo, sick.
And
we should do that.
We have their stream piped into DayDream, and the multiplayer prompt box is right there, and the prompt switches to the next one every 5 seconds.
That's dope.
And you can see like people are typing in it live, and then every 5 seconds it's gonna switch, which is super sick.
Can they? Oh, they can do creativity. Somebody do creativity like real. Oh, that one came out good. Someone should do creativity like really, really low. Do like creativity like 0.01.
Here, wait. I'm gonna do my favorite one from last week, which is cheeseburger person dash creativity. What'd you say?
I was gonna say I saw that.
Oh no. What creativity number did you say?
Oh,
Like,
I think really low, and then it will like make it more cheeseburger as opposed to
so I usually get definitely more prompt adherence and less control net at like creativity 0.3, and anything below 0.3 usually like
there's no following the depth map at all.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
I
think
see.
that I actually put during that the initial testing of this. That was one of the comments I had was maybe raise the minimum.
Yeah.
Nice, freaky.
I'm telling you, bro, the cheeseburger prompt is undefeated.
Yeah, I saw you talking. You made a cheeseburger talk. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, there's actually more that I want to do with that as soon as in like I think our product team said in the next like 2 to 3 weeks we should have a vertical aspect ratio output. As soon as that, oh, that's great. Whoever just did Darth Vader making a pizza,
Nice.
that's awesome. um cool, man. Well, look, Ryan, why don't you help me close out here with some finishing thoughts? Let people know if they want to follow you and keep up with the stuff you're doing, where can they find you, and what remind everyone again right now what you're working on.
What am I working on?
Pick the most exciting thing.
Yeah, so I'm doing a little bit of work when I find the time on this ACE step stuff like generative audio because it pairs really well with my audio reactivity focus there. But mostly I'm working on this real time stuff, and that my specific focus at this moment is up in the air. But basically, I'm just trying. I think I just get to build cool stuff. Whatever you tell me to build, Tyler, I'll do it. Yeah, if you want to find me, I post workflows and stuff all the time, like all open source and stuff. You can find me everywhere as Ryan on the Inside.
Ryan on the Inside,
Yeah,
literally everywhere.
Yeah, on all the platforms. Check me out on YouTube. I try to post a YouTube video every week. But I'm terrible at social media. Hit me up on Discord if you want to just chat. Hit me up on Discord.
Awesome. Well, dude, Ryan, thank you for taking the hour out of what is always a very busy day and chatting, and also showing off the stuff that you're working on that hopefully we will see some iteration of in DayDream sometime soon so that everyone can play with it.
Hell yeah.
And also before we dip out here, I'm going to find your YouTube channel and give everyone the link to that.
Oh yeah, I could have done that easily. Oh, I have a website that links everything together too.
Perfect. Send me that.
Yeah, or you could specifically send the YouTube if you want. But here's also the my website, which is one like probably 80% vibe coded. So check it out.
You heard it from the software engineer himself. So,
dude, it's the future.
So if you guys want to keep up with what Ryan does, he always more often he has been putting up YouTube tutorials on his YouTube channel on how to do the audio reactive stuff with his nodes. He posts workflows on his Civitai profile, and in the background, he is building very cool, groundbreaking stuff for us here at DayDream. So, Ryan, you're a legend. Thank you so much for joining us for our second ever DayDream creator session.
Thank
guys,
you.
My name is Tyler, better known as JBooks Creative. Go visit daydream.live and try our new multiplayer prompting experience, and then dive in and prompt something for yourself on yourself, record a clip, and then come share it with us in our Discord channel that I think we're now over 100 strong in the DayDream Discord, and people are posting really cool things in there every day. So scan that QR code, come join us in the Discord channel, and we will see you guys next week, same time, same place. And next week we are joined by my man Meta DJ, who is going to show us how he uses DayDream to host his DJ sets in the metaverse. What even is that sentence?
Nice.
But yeah, guys, thank you. We appreciate you all. Come visit us at daydream.live. And Eric, thank you. We will be at Upscale Conference next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll be there for the whole conference. Myself, Eric, and our wonderful community manager, N, will be there in the building. So if you happen to see us, come say hello and do not be shy. Yeah, guys,
Cool.
this has been a Daydream Creator Session. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Thanks for having me. Love you. Bye.